I am Maximus Varro, witness to Rome's rise and ruin. I saw it crawl from mud and hunger into a force that made kings tremble. I marched with legions across worlds and learned that empires don't fall to enemies. They rot from within. Today I show you not the legend, but the truth. Breathe carefully. Rome awakens. Chapter 1. The world before marble, where legends creep from mud. In the beginning, there is no empire to admire, no triumphal arches, no senate, no thunderous legions marching in step. There is only a patch of damp soil by a river called Tiber, a cluster of huts, and men hardened by exile and hunger. They are not noble. They are not chosen by gods, not yet. They are shepherds, fugitives, wanderers, outcasts. Rome rises not from triumph, but from the fear of being erased. The wolf in their myth is not a symbol of nobility. It is survival, fangs bared, eyes in the dark, a reminder that the world devours the weak. Throne is offered to them. They carve one from blood, stone, and stubbornness. Strength is not inherited. It is demanded by fate. The early Romans do not pray for comfort. They sacrifice comfort for tomorrow. The soil beneath their feet is poor, their enemies many, their peace brief. They do not dream of ruling the world. They dream simply of not being conquered by it. Chapter 2. A people forged by struggle. From the beginning, Rome learns the hardest truth. A tribe that refuses to change dies. So Rome changes, faster, colder, deeper than its rivals. They open their gates to outsiders, not out of kindness, but necessity. They make citizens of the conquered, turning enemies into Romans. Etruscan kings bring knowledge. Latin shepherds bring grit. Sabine warriors bring steel. Each people adds bone to the Roman spine. Where other tribes cling to purity, Rome clings to loyalty. They bind men not by birthright, but by oath, discipline, and opportunity. You can be born anything, but you can become Roman. And so the Republic rises, not in gilded halls, but in rough training fields, on muddy riverbanks, in iron discipline and restless ambition. Rome learns war the way a blacksmith learns steel, through blistered hands and endless repetition. They build roads not for beauty, but for survival. They drill soldiers until obedience becomes instinct. They turn hardship into identity. Every enemy that attacks them teaches them a lesson, and Rome never forgets. Chapter 3. The Iron Republic. Hunger wearing armor. Rome does not conquer quickly. It advances like a glacier, slow, unstoppable, grinding the world beneath it. First, the hills around the Tiber, then the plains of Latium, then the fierce Samnite mountains where every victory costs blood and bone. Each war scars Rome and hardens it. Then comes Carthage, a city of wealth, ships, and ancient pride. A power Rome should never defeat, but the Romans see their enemy's strength and steal it. They build a fleet where none existed. They learn to command oceans as they do land. Two titans clash for decades. Defeat teaches Rome. Victory reforges it. At Zama, Hannibal, the genius who marched elephants over the Alps, watches the Iron Republic adapt, endure, and break him. Rome rises from the ashes stronger than before, a machine of discipline, powered by memory and vengeance. They do not simply conquer land. they digest civilizations. From Greece, they take philosophy and marble. From the East, administration and religion. From every enemy, something valuable, folded into the Roman soul like hardened steel. Rome does not destroy, Rome transforms. The legions march in perfect lines, shields locking like scales on a dragon's back. Each man a blade, each cohort a hammer, each general forged in the furnace of constant war. And the world begins to tremble under their feet. Chapter 4. Marble and Myth. The empire that tamed the world. With blood and discipline, they carve a continent into order. Mud becomes marble. Gravel paths become roads stretching beyond the horizon. Markets rise where battlefields once lay. The Mediterranean turns into a Roman lake. Grain ships feed millions. Trade hums like a heartbeat. Laws give order to chaos. Julius Caesar pushes the frontier into mist-covered Gaul, crosses the Rubicon, and in one bold stride, ends the Republic to save it or destroy it. From civil war emerges an emperor, Augustus. A golden age dawns. Poets sing. Architects build as though eternity is their canvas. Roman peace lasts longer than most nations exist. Bathhouses steam. Bazaars overflow. Citizens stroll beneath colonnades polished by generations of footsteps. For a moment, Rome feels invincible, unchangeable, eternal. But marble is only stone, and stone can crack. Power achieved through struggle becomes legacy. Power inherited without struggle becomes weakness. Chapter 5. Cracks in the Colossus. The slow poison of comfort. The empire grows, but the hunger that built it fades. Where once citizens fought for honor, now mercenaries fight for wages. Where senators once debated duty, now they trade favors and whisper betrayal. Luxury becomes identity. Bread and circuses replace discipline and virtue. Gladiators bleed, so citizens do not have to. Corruption seeps into offices once sacred. Tax collectors cheat provinces dry. Bureaucracy swells, fueled by ambition without purpose. Armies swear loyalty not to Rome, but to the generals who pay them. The old ways, frugality, honor, sacrifice, become relics, not ideals. Civilizations rarely collapse from enemies. They rot from within. Chapter 6. The Long Unraveling. A giant forgetting how to stand. By the time the barbarians arrive, Rome is already weakened, not defeated in battle, but hollowed in spirit. Goths, Vandals, and Huns test Rome's borders, but many once served Rome, lived Rome, fought and bled for the eagle. A system built on loyalty no longer inspires it. Civil wars drain strength. Emperors rise and fall like sparks from a dying flame. The empire splits, east and west, two hearts beating out of rhythm. The west decays first. Gold thins, roads crumble, cities shrink, authority fades to echo. And one day, quietly, almost politely, the imperial throne in Rome is surrendered, not burned, not shattered, abandoned. A crown too heavy for tired hands. No glorious final stand, no last heroic roar. Rome exhales and sleeps. Empires do not fall in a night. They fade when they forget why they rose. The wolf that once survived through hunger now lies down in comfort, and in comfort dies. Chapter 7. echoes and warnings. Rome never truly dies. Rome ends, and yet it does not. Its laws shape nations. Its language births tongues. Its architecture stains skylines. Its mistakes whisper warnings across millennia. Whenever a superpower grows comfortable, Rome stirs in memory. Whenever a society rewards indulgence over duty, Rome's shadow lengthens. Whenever nations believe themselves eternal, marble cracks again. The empire lives not in stone, but in lessons. Strength comes from struggle, unity from inclusion, and loyalty, not purity. Discipline builds what decadence destroys. Ambition builds, greed decays. Empires fall not to enemies, but to themselves. And still the old wolf watches us, eyes glinting in the ruins, reminding us: survive, adapt, stay hungry. Or one day, our towers too will crumble into dust, and travelers will walk among our bones, whispering as we do now. Once, here, an empire believed it would last forever. And so ends the story I have shown you today. A tale of blood and dust, and of choices that shaped men and shook empires. I have witnessed it all. I lived in its shadow and carried the weight of its years upon my back. And if you listened closely, you understood the warning hidden within. For history is no echo of the past. It is a mirror, and whoever looks into it will see the shadows of their own future. If you wish these journeys to continue, to uncover new battles, to breathe life into lost kingdoms, and reveal the truth behind forgotten myths, then lend us your voice, not in gold or coin, but in a simple sign of your support: a like, a comment, a subscription. A small act for you, but for us, the spark from which the next story is forged, greater, deeper, more profound. I thank you, Wanderer. Until we meet again, in the shadows of history.